Another trending story that we are watching here in the healthcare space, GLP-1s, a key driver of the broader healthcare space this earnings season. Companies like Eli Lilly and Novo Nordisk showing that demand for weight loss treatments does remain strong. Yahoo Finance's senior healthcare reporter Anjalee Khemlani joins us to break it down. And Anjalee, I think for me what's been interesting about this is that it's not all GLP-1 providers created equal this cycle. It feels like there have been some key winners and losers.
Yeah, this is the first time that you've seen sort of a little bit of a difference between Novo Nordisk and Eli Lilly, the two market leaders. Novo, while it did beat on its earnings, it did miss some of the sales estimates, as well as downgraded or trimmed a little bit, if you will, its operating margin for the year. But it did increase sales, as well as Eli Lilly followed suit in that respect, but they increased on both sides. So we're looking at what that means for the future of the market and how that really shapes the race ahead. Lilly coming out a little bit stronger in a number of ways. First, of course, with the increased sales, Zepbound, its weight loss GLP-1, really climbing, already reaching blockbuster status after just 2 quarters on the market. It also, Lilly is also moving ahead with its application, or at least slated to move ahead. It indicated it's on track for submitting Zepbound for a heart failure, to help treat a heart failure. Novo Nordisk, on the flip side, having to delay their filing, even though they were slated to be first to file. So that's just sort of the shift you're seeing. It seems like Eli Lilly also getting their drugs off the FDA shortage list, just being really a big boost. So we had one day where Novo came out and the market was kind of like, oh God, what's going on? And then the very next day, everything was settled, doubts are gone. But I also want to take a look at sort of like a 6-month check-in, if you will, of the rest of the candidates that are coming down the pike. At the start of the year, we had companies like Pfizer, Amgen, and Roche really looking like they were going to take a good stance in the market. Pfizer, however, has been slowing down, its prospects decreasing as it ran into some trouble with its drug, the oral GLP-1 that it is now in clinical trials with. It's still figuring out the dosing for its once daily. It had a twice daily that didn't have good tolerability, so they're moving a little bit back in their pacing. Meanwhile, Amgen moving ahead with its once monthly, potentially injectable. That's in phase 2 and going to be going to phase 3 trials soon. That's something that could be a good market contender. And then you've got Roche, which entered the market with a $3 billion deal, acquiring a smaller biotech that had a couple of candidates, looking pretty good there. So they're still in the game as of right now. And then there's Viking, the little biotech that came out of nowhere with a really strong results, still having to enter phase 3 trials. And that's one of the ones that a lot of folks are still focused on, whether or not it can make it to the finish line on its own or ends up being an acquisition target. If you look at its stock, it's up 200% year to date. So that's really quite a move, and that's because of the great results we saw at the start of the year. So that's sort of how the market's shaking out right now. If you look at sort of where the competition is, I had a chance to catch up with Jared Holes, Mizuho's healthcare sector expert, and he talked about sort of that hiccup we saw in the middle of the week between Novo and Lilly, saying that Lilly's results are a reminder that it's silly to look at either of these names on a 90-day basis, which is what we do in the market, especially because this market is north of 100 billion. So we're going to need more of those contenders to come in to really see how it plays out.